allow tragedy to fortify your strength and refuse to let it weaken you. Um, I am very affected and very I might shed some tears, y'all. I've just been crying all day. um, well, not all day, maybe like for 30 minutes one moment and 30 minutes another moment. um, George Floyd, I want to say his name.
Right.
I think it's important for me to honor our hearts, that
Right.
we will see this, we will hear this, what is happening, and it will affect us in different ways. So no matter where you are and what you're doing and how you're being affected, you can honor it, because there are times, I have to admit, there are times when I would hear what was going on or other things would be happening. um, there would be other tragedies, and I it would wash over me, and you feel it and you hear it, but you continue to press on. And I think for some of us, you could say you go numb. You could say that you go numb, um, to be able to cope and to be able to manage with so many different things that are happening. And for some reason, this time I was not able to go numb. I honor my bubble, to be honest with y'all. I'm not gonna front. I don't mind my bubble. My bubble has protected me. My bubble is a form of self-care. However, um, it's like it hits a threshold, and this is something that I want to talk about today. It hits a threshold where you get to a point where you can no longer overlook it, and everybody will be at different stages for that. That you can no longer overlook the injustice that is, because we are all connected. Because we are all connected, it's hard to overlook it, even if you aren't watching it online. Because I know that I attract women who are like me, so at least 50% of you are empaths. At least, where you feel other things that other people are going through, where you've tried to block it out. And I want to just honor your heart in this moment, to just say it's okay, whatever you're feeling. Even if you're not feeling, as down as I'm feeling, it's okay for you to be in that space where you are. But if you are feeling some kind of way, I'll just say that, I'm feeling some kind of way. My sister hates when I say that. If you are feeling some kind of way, it's okay for you to feel that. It is okay for you to be enraged. It is okay for your heart to hurt. It is okay for you maybe not to have the momentum that you had yesterday or the day before. It is okay if you woke up today and didn't want to work. It is okay if you wanted to plow into work to not have to look at what's happening. That's okay. That is okay. And no matter where you are, I mean, we have so much going on with COVID and being in the house and not connecting to other women or just other individuals. That is affecting us in some way. We're all on some form of a grief cycle of how life was, a grief cycle of when the frick is shit gonna change, a grief cycle. We're all on it in some way, shape, or form, and it's okay. Just honor that. Honor yourself. This is a safe space tonight. If there's something you want to talk about, you can definitely talk about it. I'm going to take just a couple of moments to go through momentum. Momentum was the plan today. And I said, oh, I'm not going to talk about momentum. That sounds kind of crazy with what I woke up to this morning. But let's talk about momentum from the perspective of when there is a tragedy or when something happens. I always use the analogy of rolling a boulder. I think I might have used that last week. You're rolling a boulder, and if the boulder goes 2 inches, you're good. You might be thinking you have to move the boulder 50 miles an hour, 100 yards, but you might just need to move it 1 inch. But thinking about it from today, the perspective of moving a boulder, if you're rolling the boulder and you have a consistent momentum, and then becomes a little pebble that gets in the way. The little pebble gets in the way, it kind of stops you. But the best way to get over that boulder, the way to get that boulder over that little pebble is to rock back on it for a second and then move forward. Do you guys know what I'm saying? Like if there's something that's so hard, you might have to take a step back and to move forward. Because if you're trying to keep going, you're gonna just be stuck and hitting your head up against the wall. You'll be stuck and hitting your head up against the wall. So in moments where a tragedy happens, you might have a business plan that you're working on. You might have something that you plan on doing with your family, a project that you're working on with your house. You might not be going as fast as you had planned to go, but it's honoring exactly what you are feeling. That is the whole objective. In order to design the life that you want, you must honor exactly where you are. And in a lot of cases, honoring exactly where you are is going to include what emotions you're feeling today. If you're having a certain emotions, just sit in it. Give yourself some grace. Decide that it's okay to cry. It's okay to cry. I mean, I cried I cried today. Y'all, I'm surprised my eyes aren't red now. But I cried today. It was overwhelming. But I also know where God has placed me. And I also know I can honor myself in crying and still show up for myself, but it might just look different. It might just look a little different. It might look a little different. So there was a quote that I came across which really inspired me. It said, allow tragedy to fortify you. Fortify your strength. Allow tragedy to fortify your strength and refuse to let it weaken you. Allow tragedy to fortify your strength and refuse to let it weaken you. There are some things that you might be asking yourself, like, well, what can I do? See what works for you. My kid became an activist and slept down on City Hall steps for like a few days or a week. And I was like, I'm not going to sleep on City Hall. I'm going to write a check. I will bring y'all food, but I'm not sleeping there. And at different times in your life, it may look different. Today, I wrote down all the phone numbers of places that I'm going to call tomorrow that I got from another activist online. For me, that's what it's going to look like. That was not the case for the last 10 people that I've seen murdered on the internet. I knew that I needed to just take care of my heart and wrap my heart up so that I can serve my community. And now I feel like I've been strengthened, and so I can move into that space of making those phone calls. So just honor where you are, one. Honor where you are, what emotions you have going on right now. Breathe them in. Breathe them in and say, I see you, I feel you, I know you are here. Decide that it's okay to move a little slower than you normally would. It is okay to slow down. It's okay to push pause. It's okay to say, no more work today. I'll get back to this tomorrow. It is not okay for you to check out on yourself. That is not okay. It is okay for you to check in on yourself, wrap your arms around yourself, love on yourself a little more, because that is what you need right now. And then I want you to know that in order to maintain momentum, I want you to change your relationship to momentum. A lot of times we think momentum is fast as we want to go. And I think I talked about this last week. Momentum means not moving. I want to add that to the definition of it means to not stop. Let's get that straight. Momentum means to not stop, to continue to move. So when you are choosing, because this is your life and you are the master of your world, when you are choosing what you're going to do with your time, consider it that you're not stopping. Stopping means checking out completely. Stopping does not mean changing the focus, changing the course a little bit. That doesn't mean you stopped. Today was like, oh, I'm working on this business plan. I'm revamping some things. I'm creating a new product for my tribe. I'm doing all of this stuff. But also today meant tapping into a little bit of extra journaling. And that can be momentum. So momentum doesn't always mean keeping your eye on the exact same prize you were looking at 100 miles an hour. It may mean slowing up, backing up so you can push over that nugget of tragedy. And it may also mean intentionally moving into your self-care. Intentionally moving into your self-care. I'm going to leave it at that. I want all of you to chime in. I'm going to unmute everyone. Unmute yourself. Allow tragedy to fortify your strength and refuse to let it weaken you. Allow tragedy to fortify your strength and refuse to let it weaken you. And
is there a password? Because I prefer the computer, but they're asking me for a password.
It is 5620. 5620.
Thanks.
Y'all know me. I say I'm Positive Polly. I need to just make a shirt, Positive Polly. I probably say that every line. I mean, every time we get on this. But that's just where I am today, y'all. That's where I am. And I would love to hear. I'll start, but I would love for everyone to just introduce yourself, where you're from. I unmute everyone because you can say, yeah, girl, I feel you, girl, or have a solution or not. I just feel like that's the girlfriend's chat aspect of this. And with that being said, I want you to give one way that you have a tool that you've used to combat any tragedy, or a tool that you've used to maybe just overcome a rough patch. I would love just to hear that. It could be something simple because it'll relate to other people, and I would love to hear